Merry Christmas! This is rensdyr, reindeer, Danish. Before we start this, I just want to tell you I have an Olivetti matrix printer, and obviously I have that due to the fact that I love everything Olivetti. But I don't have any paper. This is why you saw me lifting out a few boxes. So, this episode starts actually with me buying these endless papers for my matrix printer that I will feature sometimes next year. And when I went up and got these, I paid for them. A nice lady had a bunch of them. She was finishing up the estate of her father, and there was a few boxes of paper, so I bought them from her. On my way to my car, she stopped me and told me, oh, by the way, my father also has an Olivetti calculator. And I'm not doing calculators, I'm doing computers, right? But this is a Logo S75B. I have to feature this sometime next year also, because this is not just a calculator, as it turns out. This is also a computer. It has some function. You can program this calculator. So that would be featured later. That was very nice of her giving me this one. So we'll see into this one later. And then she said, oh, by the way, my father also has a computer. That's the one. And this is why we're doing this episode today. So here we have an HP or Hewlett Packard. I never seen this one before. This is called a Kayak XM600. And can't really find anything about it online. Most likely because I don't know where to look. I have a few descriptions of it, but not much. This features a Pentium III. And I do recall when the Pentium III came out way back, there were some blue men's. Something about the 3 green lines on the logo and 3 blue men, blue heads or something. I'm not sure. Can't really remember, but hold on. Let me go on YouTube.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium III processor.
That's the one. Exactly. There you go. So this one features a Pentium III CPU. Let's open it up. It's a little bit dirty, but it's okay, it's fine. Let's open it up. Let's have a look inside, see what's inside this one, and maybe we need to clean it. We will have to look at the power supply and so on and so forth, as we usually do. I also had a brief look into eBay, and look here what I found. That's crazy. This cannot be worth that much, not even in the end of year 2022. That's crazy. It seems to me that people selling stuff on eBay, they are getting a little bit, I need to be nice, so they are getting a little bit ahead of themselves, thinking they can score a fortune on an old vintage computer that has no usage as on, besides for us as a collector. So stop putting up ridiculous prices for a computer, because that's crazy. But I haven't seen anything like this before, so I think it's rare-ish, but nevertheless. Let me adjust the camera and let's crack it open and get on with it. So here we have it. Before we start on this one, the Olivetti M28 that I start unwrapping was just another gift from another viewer, and I just needed to get off my table, so that's why you saw that one. Let's have a look at this one. So here we have the Hewlett Packard or HP Kayak, I'm assuming it's pronounced, XM600. I see keys and I see a lock, and I will assume this goes up here. It does. So this is some kind of locking mechanism, probably just for the cover. But let's put this one back. This is actually the first computer I own that actually has the keys with them. Down here we have the Intel Inside Pentium III. This one says designed for Microsoft Windows 2000 Professional and Windows NT Workstation 4.0. Must be an on and off. The standing reset. Here we have a hard disk, so that must be light for that. Over here we have two drives up here. The first one is most likely just a CD-ROM drive. It says 32 times 10 times 40 times. Rewritable. So this is CD-ROM. This is a DVD, also rewritable. And down here we have a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. This must be for 1.44. Looks nice. On the side, let me close this one down like this. There's some dirt and filth. I don't know what that is up here, which we will have to take off. On the side, there's gaffer tape with, I don't know what that is. Absolutely no idea. Is it a feed? I don't know. We'll see. Put it outside. Here we have the model number, model Kayak XM600, and it says PROT P1645N #ABY, and there's a serial number FR1011173. I'm assuming this is a 0 also. Then there's a label. This is for Windows 2000 Professional 1 to 2 CPUs. And obviously there's a license number for that one. So I could assume this actually has Windows 2000 installed on it. Let's just check on the other side. There's nothing there. So in the back, I see two fans. I don't know what that is. It says stop. This is probably caution something. So there's power in. There's no power out for a monitor. So this is most likely a fan for the power supply. There's a second fan. It looks a little bit bigger. So this is probably just a cooling fan. Here we have PS2 mouse, PS2 keyboard, some USB, a printer thing. This could be a joystick thing. These would be two serials. Then we have something with, I think this is speaker out, speaker in, and microphone. This is the graphics card, composite, VGA and stuff. Over here we have additional 4 USB sticks, and this must be a network card on the side. I see a screw up there, but before we open, I think it's for the LEDs. Let's just see if there's any exciting stuff on the bottom. Which there is. There's another label. And if I tittle a little bit, this is just more or less what we saw. So Hewlett Packard, Kayak XM600 DT. And input says 100 to 127 volt or 200 to 240 volt, 50 or 60 hertz, and some other serial numbers. That's what I'm seeing down here. Let's crack it open. I'm assuming pressing in here. And here we have the LED with a few labels. This is showing the motherboards. So it seems that this computer comes in 3 models: the XM600, the XM600 Series 2, and XU700 models. And I can see the difference between 600 and Series 2 is 2 sockets for the Pentium 3. And these are the normal sockets for the Pentium 3. And over here there's only 1 processor socket for another Pentium. And with the camera adjusted, we can have a peek inside. So we have the cards over here. We have that second fan that actually cools down. There are 2 CPUs in this motherboard. CPU 1 and CPU 2, so 2 Pentium computers. There is some memory down here, and it is dirty. So actually very dirty. I see hard drive over here. This is labeled IBM, so we'll have a peek at that one. I think what I will do, I will strip it down, take out the cards, the CPU, the RAM, and the motherboard, of course, the hard disk drive, and things in the bay, and see if I can get access to the actual power supply. It's actually super tiny. Super tiny power supply for a big computer like this. This is what is called a workstation. So let me take all the stuff out. So the first card is saying V7100 Pro 64, that must be megabyte, which are over there. So what is the chipset saying? I never heard about this. Cornex AT&T or something, but it's Asus nevertheless, so needs a dusting. Next card, that's just the USB. And the last card, that is SMC. So this is a normal Etherlink card, network card with no BIOS settings on it. If we look at the RAM memory on it, it seems that it's 3 different. So let's RDRAM terminator module. So is this RAM or is it not RAM? I think this is not RAM, but put a comment if anybody knows what this is. And in the middle slot we have Samsung RAM, 128 megabytes. And the last one is NEC, most likely also, yes, 128 megabyte of RAM. See a few cables on the board. This over here is connected to the lower DVD drive, so this must be for sound. Over here on this side I also see a few connections. One goes to the fan and another one goes to this. So the computer must know whether or not the cover is on or off. And over here on this side I see I think this is all connection for all the lightings in front. And the last one is this one, and just so I know, red goes this way. That should be more or less it. We just need to figure out to get into the power, which is down there. So I'm assuming I need to get all of this out before I can reach down to the power. So I got the power supply out. It was a little bit of a struggle. It was very close down there. I also took out the Pentium III CPUs, both of them, they're over here. So I will test the power supply. This is an AT power supply, and in order, because there's no on and off, the on and off is a signal coming from the front of the cabinet here. So in order for us to turn on the actual power supply, just hooking it in will not give any power. It needs to be activated. And the activated cable is the green one. And let me move the camera a little bit closer, like this, so I can sit on my chair. So as you can see, there are a lot of different colors, and one of them is the green one. You could also have a power supply with all black lines on them, so you'll be stuck. So the rule is, find this piece. Let me see if you can see it. There we go. And if you then count from left to right, this is number 4. So number 4 is the one that will activate the power supply. And what we need to do, we need to jump a ground cable, which is the black ones in this power supply, but it's number 4 is the green one, and number 5 is a black one. Number 3 over here is also a black one, but I usually do number 4 and number 5. So I have to connect these two together in order to jump the power supply and turn it on. For that purpose, I can't find my usual thing, but this is just a clip. And if I put this one in, and now we're going from right because I turned it upside down, number 4, number 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I jump it in here, like this, there we go. So the green and the black one are now connected together, which will bridge and should turn on the power supply. Be careful. This is the right thing. You can actually get a converter that you can buy online and put it on, which holds this cable inside it, but this is the same thing. And before we turn it on, I just want some load on it. Therefore, I will bring back the hard disk, the broken one, which makes a lot of noise, but it takes some load and we can hear whether it runs. So if I do this, put it up there, we need to see the voltage. So if we turn this over here and we take some the cables, and if I take the red one, should be 5 volts. Let me just see like this. And the reason I'm doing 5 volts is because the hard disk up here takes 12 volts. So if this runs, 12 volt is working, and if this one will show us 5 volts, then the 5 volt rail is also working. So let's put a cable into the power supply. And if I see, we should be able to see it, right? There we go. So let me turn on the power. 3, 2, 1, go. I can hear the hard disk is spinning and we have 5 volts. All good. Let me take off the power again. And it bleeds out very quickly. And just to prove that we don't get anything, if I take the clip out of the power supply, there's nothing in. Just, I'm gonna turn it on again. 3, 2, 1. Nothing happens. So, power supply is working. Perfect. So, with a working power supply, let's dig further into the computer. And what I discovered is, this is the casing for the top. It actually gives me advice on how to take off the front. So there's a clip and a clip and a clip that just needs to be pushed down, and then I should be able, as it states here, to get everything out. Let's do that. And then there should be one screw here that gives us access to move all of this out. So that's the whole bay with the floppy disk drive that needs to be taken out, cleaned, and these two just wiped down, so I will clean that. And I think we need to figure out how to get the hard disk out, so we can, yeah, how would that be? As I see it, we have 2 more screws, so let's try and attack those. They're longer. And we seem to have clips that we can just very gently. Let's see. Are there more? Maybe there's a screw out here on this side too. Let's try. They didn't do anything besides taking this one up, which is for another disk drive. And I broke a piece. Seems that this is the problem over here. If I turn it around, maybe you can see the issue is this clip where this is supposed to be lifted out, so I can take this plate which holds the hard disk here. Let's see if we can do like this. Oh. Another piece broke off. Tiny one on this side there, sadly. But the item is out. And here we see the loudspeaker and all these cables. So the red one, that's for the loudspeaker. It also says speaker here. And these ones says control panel, which must be all of this over here. So the question is, how do we get the hard disk out? Is it just floating in there? It is. I can just take it out like that. There we go. Let's see our hard disk. So it's an IBM DeskStar. The model number is IC35L060AVER07-0. ATA IDE. Capacity is 61.5 gigabytes, and it spins at 7,200 RPMs. So, good hard disk. Let's see if it works still later on. This leaves us with a motherboard and a fan up here, which I think we'll just leave, but the cables are off. We need to figure out how to get the motherboard out of the cabinet. And they're not screwed together. I hope we can see it, but it's a metal thing, a weird one, that seems to be held by these. So there are lots of them all over the place. So let me just see how this works. It seems that if you, there we go. It seems if we just press in on them, the metal piece on the top, should I, there we go. So let me move in. There we are. So this is the piece, and there's a piece, if I move this, you can see it clips out. There's one over there. It's not easy with the handheld camera. So let me just get the motherboard out so we can have a clean of it. It's not that dirty. I already blow some air in it, so it's not as bad as it could be. And I briefly had a look at all the capacitors and stuff, and from what I'm seeing, there's nothing that is actually leaking. So let's see if we can get the motherboard out and test it. So I'm back, and the reason is we're talking about these clips, and it actually looks like this. Looks like a tiny bird, but it's not the right way. And I could just have looked at the drawings, because it states remove one screw, lift it up, and take this down. So let me mount the camera, and I shall turn it around, and we shall find that screw. It's this one. And there we go. One motherboard. And this one that I took out is from up here, so I'll put this one back later on. But here we have it. One beautiful Pentium III motherboard. A little bit filthy, but it's fine. These are, wow, okay, hold on a second. So this needs to go. These are some bumps on the back. I don't know what they're good for, but this is disintegrating. Look, if I press on it, it does this. So this absolutely needs to go away. This one is not okay, and this one is okay, but this one's very bad. You see? I will assume it's because this area is for voltage regulation, and a lot of heat has come to this area, so this has dissolved this thing. So I'll remove these also. But we're done. It's stripped down. So let me wipe all this, clean this. I'll take out the battery that we see over here and test it. Then I'll build it back again, put in the RAM, the CPU, the power supply, and hook the power to it, and then let's turn it on and see if it actually works, right? So I have cleaned everything and I have assembled it back. I just need to put this cover in the front, and then I think we should try and turn it on to the monitor over there, right? So everything is back in. So the network card, the USB, this is actually USB 2. So I think when we saw on the back, we saw the USB port on the motherboard. I think that's 1.1 or 1.2. So that's maybe why there's an additional card with 4 USB slots in. The graphics card is in, the 2 CPUs are in, all the memory. Still not sure about the weird memory stick, which tells us something about Terminator, but I'm not sure. But we'll see. 128, so a total of 256 megabytes. We will see it when it boots up, if it boots up, let's hope. Whether or not that's the correct values. The hard disk is also put in, it's attached, everything, CD-ROM drive, the DVD, sorry. And down here I took out the floppy disk drive and I cleaned it very thoroughly. Sorry about the bad lighting. The sun is all of a sudden out here in Denmark, although it's winter in December. But there we go. So let me put some power to it and put the front on. That should be easy, right? It's just clipping on like this. There we go, done. Nice. And the cable for the monitor. So let me hook it up and arrange the camera, and let's see if we can actually boot this beast. So with a little bit of luck, Everything should be hooked up. I tried to make this authentic as I could. So this is an HP flat screen monitor. I even have an HP PS2 mouse. I don't have an HP keyboard for USB. Sorry, PS2. But obviously I have Olivetti with PS2. So we'll settle with that. If it doesn't work, we'll see if I can find an USB keyboard and hook it up. So I'm assuming I will turn on the power and we shall see if anything goes. Let's hear it. I definitely can hear that everything is spinning up, even the hard drive and the fans. But the screen doesn't seem to show anything. Maybe it just needs to synchronize. Something's happening. The keyboard lights are as they should be. Oh, there we go. We're in. Escape for summary, F2 for setup, F8 for boot menu, and F12 for boot on LAN. Let's do the setup, F2. Entering setup. It tries to read the floppy disk. And now it boots. Wow, and beeps. Phoenix BIOS 4.0, release 6.0. Copyright 85 to 99. And again, something here. CPU Intel Pentium II processor at 866 MHz. I don't know why it's not telling us 2, but I don't know. We'll see. 640, 555 megabyte of RAM, and 256K of cache. SRAM also passed. The front side bus is 133 megahertz. And there's a CD-ROM drive, and there's the other, this is the DVD drive. Fixed disk, it sees the hard disk also. System configuration data updated, and an error due to the fact that check date and time. So press F2 to enter setup. Let me put the camera a little bit closer and let's go into the setup. And with the camera a little bit closer, let's try to do F2 as it states on the monitor. Oh, there we go. A Phoenix BIOS as we see them all the time. So the date, what is this? Is this month? I don't know. Can I do 12? What? The keyboard is not okay. I can't go up. I think we need another keyboard. I hooked up a new keyboard. Also Olivetti, same one. This is just an Italian keyboard, but doesn't matter. So let's, yeah, much better. So let's do 12. I have no idea. What is it today? 19th? 2022. And the time, I have no clue again. Let's just do 12. And that should be it, right? And let's find save. Change values, enter, where do we save? We probably just exit, right? Let's do that first. Exit and save changes. If I press escape over here, let's see. Oh, there we see it's counting memory and stuff. That's fine. Phoenix BIOS setup. What is this? Press any key to continue. What is it doing? It sees the, yeah, it says CD-ROM on both of them, but we know one of them is the DVD and sees all the memory. I'm not touching anything. What's it doing now? It boots into Windows XP. Okay. I thought we had Windows 2000 for workgroups installed as it said on the side of the computer, but it doesn't seem so. So this is booting up in Windows XP. There we go. And the mouse, the HP mouse, is also working. And we're finally in. This is just a splash screen talking about that you need to be having the real version and you cannot have fake Windows XP. So let's just go out of that and figure out where we can see the computer specifications. Here we go. So this is Windows XP version 2002 with Service Pack 2. And it only sees one CPU here. But let me, hold on a second. If we go on to all programs, this is Danish, I'm not used to Danish. And system tools and system information. That should tell us if we have two CPUs or not. Let me just maximize this. Oh, the monitor, the graphics card is really bad. But up here we see both CPUs. So it recognizes all the CPUs, and we have 256 megabytes. So the third memory module was a Terminator module. This is the first time I'm seeing that kind of memory stick, but there we go. If anybody knows anything about that specific one, just give me a comment downstairs. And let's wrap this one up. I'm trying to boot it again. And I just want to say that the hard disk is broken. It fails on and off. It's a little bit unstable, but it doesn't matter, because it's not a computer that I will keep. I'm actually thinking selling it, and the money will go to a charity if anybody wants to buy it. So reach out to me, contact me, email me, and if you would like to buy it, then let's figure out, or else I will most likely put it on eBay. I will obviously put in a hard disk that is working, and maybe even a better graphics card, because it's really bad. In 2000, this would have been an amazing computer with a dual Pentium III CPUs inside it, and with a lot of memory. You saw the blue screen of death, which is due to the hard disk. But now this one is not something I will keep. So let's wrap this one up. I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope to see you for more YouTube videos in 2023. So from here, my name is Taibo. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Goodbye.